So CPAC was on Sunday, the highlight, of course, President Trump's big speech. But CPAC featured a lot of other all-star speakers like our next guest, Tom Fitton. He took the stage. Watch this.
The FBI and the Justice Department had Hunter's laptop for years, but did nothing but protect the Biden clan. I call on the Justice Department to immediately appoint a special counsel to investigate Biden corruption.
All right, Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch calling for an investigation. We'll get to that in a moment. But hey, did you notice? You probably didn't, but some weirdos did. The stage that Tom was standing on. All right, there it is. It looks like an interesting stage to me. I did not give it a second thought. But some people saw something very dark and sinister there. And let's go through some of the headlines. Headline number one, nod or blunder. No CPAC 2021 apology for a stage shaped like a white supremacist symbol. Next headline, please. CPAC Hyatt Hotel says stage resembling Nazi rune is abhorrent. What the hell are they? One more. CPAC stage compared to Nazi symbol on social media. Now, I don't know. I just saw a stage, but some people, they compare it to this Othel rune thing, which I've never heard of. Has some sort of European origin, but here's the deal. This stage was designed by Democrats. Anyway, it's kind of foolish, but it did get a lot of attention. Mr. Fitton, were you aware of this nonsense while you were on that stage?
No, I just wanted to be sure I didn't fall off it when I walked out to the podium.
Well, you did a great job. And this turned out to be, no kidding, brought in by a company that did a lot of work for Democrats. They may have been up to some funny business when they came up with this design. There was no racial intent on the Republican side for sure. But more importantly, you would like to see, and I'm not hearing enough talk about this, quite frankly, I'm glad you're talking about it, a special counsel. Somebody has to look into Joe Biden because a lot of us don't think that justice is going to be done. We all know he's got serious, serious issues.
Yeah, and most of Washington, D.C. has been silent on the elephant in the room, which is the fact that Joe Biden's been compromised as a result of his and his son's activities with China and in Ukraine and other countries. And, President Trump had a special counsel appointed over nothing. Basically, fake news and false information put out there by Hillary Clinton. Here we already have an FBI investigation separately into Hunter's tax situation, and at least under the rules of the Justice Department, you're supposed to have a special counsel appointed if there's a conflict of interest and the public interest demands it. How has there not been a special counsel appointed? Frankly, one should have been appointed under the Trump administration.
It is astounding. They're getting away with it. There's almost no mainstream media pressure here. Although from time to time I hear that the far left inside the administration, people who like Kamala Harris perhaps more than Joe Biden, may want to see an investigation into old Joe after all at some point.
Yeah, but, that's politics. I think, at least from Judicial Watch's perspective, the question is there significant evidence of criminal activity by Joe Biden or people close to him and his family specifically that warrant a Justice Department investigation? The answer is yes. Hunter Biden's under investigation. There's other evidence implicating Joe Biden in the issues Hunter Biden's being investigated for. The Justice Department should appoint a special prosecutor. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the fact that D.C. hasn't talked much about it, frankly, says more about the corrupt allied media of Joe Biden and their political handmaidens in Congress than it does about the need for justice here and to reassure the American people that Joe Biden isn't above the law.
By the way, I think Hunter Biden's book comes out next month. Do you have any idea what he does day to day? He's 51 years old, I think. He still owns a big chunk of that hedge fund that has those ties to China. How does he pass the time?
Well, it's a good point you raised, Greg. He's still involved with China. Supposedly he's painting now. He is, he's got these challenges, or he's had these challenges of drug addiction and such, I understand. But, having reviewed some of the emails that have been made public, he knows what he's doing, and he knew what he was doing when he was conducting these rackets in Ukraine and China. And the emails and other testimony from people, his former business partners, implicate Joe Biden directly in all this. Was Joe Biden getting the benefit of this deal, or was Joe Biden the beneficiary of bribes indirectly by these Chinese and other entities who were taking care of his son and indirectly taking care of him?
Look, we rip on the mainstream media all the time, but they do have the resources to bring to the table, if they wanted to, a serious investigation of Hunter Biden. This is a great story. You know some reporters down there. I mean, what excuse do they come up with? Those who are paid to be investigative reporters, who are full-time on this kind of stuff in the Trump world, are just looking the other way. They know it's a good story. What is their excuse?
Well, remember, when they first were talking about the story, they suggested it was Russia disinformation. So it's kind of hard for them to go back and go over this again. They were scooped by Rudy Giuliani and the New York Post. So they're embarrassed by all of this. And plus, they're rooting for Joe Biden. They don't want to disrupt an administration that they politically support. Greg, the media has just been, it's always been bad in terms of bias. But now they're just completely advocacy in terms of politics. And on issues like this, politics always comes first.
We've been quite conspicuous here. This is an opinion show. We lean one way, and I support President Trump. I like conservative policies, and I like his style. One thing about reporters down there, though, even the investigative ones, they spend so much time on the phone, just kind of trading insults all day long, and not as much digging as was happening not too long ago. All right, well, we're glad you're on the case. Thank you very much, Tom.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Check it out, Judicial Watch.